What's up, guys? Welcome back to the podcast. We didn't see y'all last week, and we're a day late as well. Lots of fun new stuff, right? But welcome back, and let me just jump into the usual stuff real quick here. If you'd like to support the channel, make sure to visit Happy Little Hug Factory. You can find singles and sealed product. They are doing pre-orders of the next set, which is the name of it, Colin, again?
Strangers of New Valhalla for $80, I believe, is the pre-order.
Not bad. And if none of those are something you're looking for, they do pick up singles off of you guys if you want to go check out their Buylist. Maybe you have some extra cards you're trying to get rid of and you just can't sell them, so you can go check them out as well. And also to our patrons over at patreon.com/tcgscrubs who make a lot of things possible. We post a lot of cool stuff. We've been posting a lot more videos over there lately, which is pretty awesome. I hope you guys who are patrons are really enjoying that. Real quick.
They are.
If you're a patron and you saw this week's Patreon podcast, my bad. I left my desktop audio recording to capture Joey and had music playing in the background. It was very turned down, but it's copyright music, so hopefully we don't get in trouble for that. I'm still posting it because it was hilarious. I loved it. Make sure to comment on that, what y'all think of it.
And speaking of that on the more videos, is we're trying to consistently do about 3 videos a week on Patreon, because I want it to be sort of a cool little side hub for people who might be fans of the channel or just want more Force of Will content that's more unique. The mini podcast tends to be a little bit different than the main podcast, or we talk about very interesting topics, and then going over decks that you guys submit to us and sort of our thoughts and improvements for it and stuff like that. And also a what's the third one? And the other one that we're doing that I totally went blank on. But we're doing about 3 videos a week right now, and then we also throw up random stuff. Like Oscar and I did a sort of test run of Keyforge before we did the main Keyforge gameplay video, which will be coming out later this week, which we totally misinterpreted the rules. So it was unusable, but it was still fun to watch. So we put it up on Patreon in case anyone was interested on how not to play the game, but how the game would look if it was not correctly balanced. So
watch us just fumble through learning how to play the game, essentially.
Yeah. So yeah.
But if you any one of those links, Happy Little Hug Factory and Patreon, both in the description down below if you want to check those out. And as usual, they've already been, one of them been talking. Joined with by the awesome people of Colin from Team ARG, and Joe of Joe's Corner,
Hey guys.
which is coming back. I have the video and I'm editing it now.
Yes,
I want to talk about that for a second because I absolutely loved about an hour ago when me and Joe were talking, and he goes, "Oh, you're editing it," and I go, "Yeah." He's like, I thought Colin was gonna do it. I go, "Yeah, and I mean, he has a lot to do. I'm gonna work on it." He's like, "Well, I want it to look cool. I want it to."
I was
to be fair,
like Oscar's as good at editing as Colin is.
And hold on, it gets better. But Colin,
I was gonna say, to be fair, I'm still gonna try and make a cool ass intro to it. But I was like, with Oscar's history video and then his other history video, which is literally a straight almost hour of animations or not even full animations. I've resorted to just regular editing for some of it. It's just in addition, like 6 other videos that require some animation. So I was just like, you know what, Oscar, Oscar's like, I'll do it. I was like, that's fair. It'd probably be like 3 weeks till I get to this anyways.
But it gets better, Colin. He goes, you know what? He's like, if you could do better than this ruined video that Colin did, then yeah, I'd say you're just as good as Colin is, or something like that. And I'm laughing, video? And I go, the ruined video like that. He's like, yeah, the how runes work video. I go, Joey, I did that video. He's like, what?
Okay, so
see, I had watched that ruined video. I was like, oh, that was pretty good, Oscar.
Yeah,
that was really nice.
So, in my defense, we also were kind of talking about how like Oscar was like, oh, what if I like put out a video and you were like amazing? It was like, and then Colin put out a video and like mine was clearly better. I was like, I would give you props, Oscar. But so the issue is that like the rune video and the teaching videos came out like around the same day, and then I think Oscar was mentioning something about how Colin had made the teaching videos and stuff and how he's really impressed with it. So I was like, okay, so for some reason I just thought the how runes work was part of the teaching videos. So I had it in my mind that Colin had done that one, but no, that was good. And then I watched like the teaching videos, and I was like, oh yeah, this is a little better. But I was very impressed with what Oscar put together.
Which wasn't anything fancy. It was just the images sliding in at certain times and stopping on the screen at the right moment. But I was going to say something. I've already lost track. Oh, Colin, were you going to do the news this week, or is this going to serve as the news? Because a lot of my stuff I was talking about for the subjects,
this will kind of serve as the news. There is. I did hope on. Well, I'll say it now, so that he has to hold to it. But I did schedule up to at least briefly talk with Jeff Finnegan about the willpower rewards, which we'll be talking about in this podcast. Mm-hmm. But he'll at least go through and 100% clarify things in case people are like, or even if we say stuff that's probably, reading from the article, it's pretty obvious. People still want to hear from an authorities and stuff like that. So I figured it'd be good to hear it from Jeff himself. And he can also give his thoughts and maybe hint at different things like Jeff does. So that'll be coming out. So it'll be like the unofficial news, and that'll, in case we do talk about other stuff. I doubt we will, but in case we do, and that'll come out. See, what is tomorrow? So it'll come out Thursday, hopefully. So it'll be a day late. Yeah.
So let's jump into some of the subjects I had. That's pretty much the second one. Real quick, this one's real small, was that I got, for Black Friday, our LGS, she said, Lauren said she'd order me a box, whatever I wanted, for $75. And I was like, that's a really good deal. So I got Time Spinning Witch box, seeing as those are, going for like $90-something on TCG Player at least. Didn't open a ruler. And then Colin tried to tell me, yeah, no, that's when they started not printing rulers in boxes. I'm like, no, it's not. He's like, yeah, no, it totally is. Pull up a video of him when we're doing our box opening, where he goes, oh yeah, so this is the box where you're going to get this ruler and you're going to get this ruler, and everybody's kind of upset because it was the guaranteed Uber box. And Colin, Colin, when I told you that you said those words, you're like, weird, and that's all you said about it. I'm like, dang it, Colin.
I'm still not fully convinced. I'm gonna have to research this more.
Watch the box opening.
This is literally just like Oscar putting Colin and Joey on blast the podcast.
Well, yeah, it's just me venting my aggravations that I've built up.
I was like super right about this.
It's like, I don't know if y'all watch Rooster Teeth podcast, where they had the episode where everybody gets one thing that they've had in the past that they've talked about they can be right with, and from that point on, it's always going to be something that was right.
It wasn't that they could be right about it, it's that no one could ever bring it up again as like a negative for them.
Okay, is that what it was?
And
that's funny.
Kind of like that. But anyways, let's talk about the more important stuff. Or Joey, do you have something to say?
No, I was just gonna ask if you got anything from the Time Spinning Witch box.
Oh yeah, no, we got some really good stuff. Colin was mostly in there like, wow, look, there's your money's worth, because I pulled what's the one that's a white card that's $18-20 even for the regular art?
Flourishing Hope.
Is
that it?
Resuscitating Will?
Yeah, that one. Flourishing Hope is $10 for the normal art, I believe.
No, miscalculation.
We already figured it out.
Yeah.
Not Joey.
Yeah, it was whatever it was. I looked it up online, and the regular art was going for $18.
Unless Flourishing Hope jumped in price, maybe.
It's one of the two. But either way, we pulled two of those. Obviously, a fairer. Some other cool cards. No ruler in the box. I was upset because maybe I'll get lucky and pull an Imul. Maybe I'll get screwed over and pull a Scheherazade. We'll see. And 0 rulers in the entire box. Just got the Uber that's guaranteed, and it was an Uber Keurig.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. I was thinking Time Spinning Witch was the set that Time Spinning Witch actually came in.
No, she was the buy box for Mom.
No. Yeah. You're getting confused. Why would Time Spinning Witch be inside a Time Spinning Witch? You're silly. You're silly. In fact, it wasn't in any box, actually, Joey. So you're double silly for thinking a ruler would come in a booster pack. Blah, 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 blah. Of course it's behind a $3 paywall. Why wouldn't it be? Blah, blah.
Which is cool. I don't know how many of you guys had y'all's LGS sign up for the promo thing. The promo program they're now doing, which goes through Rob, but our LGS had already gotten their first package in for last month, I believe it was, and the package came with Time Spinning Witches. We had 5 of them in total. Colin took one of them because he hadn't had one yet, and we told her, keep the rest. Let's do those for tournament pricing. So that's what we're gonna do with those. And then,
Yeah, they sent a decent amount of promos too, and like we got the Flame of Outer Worlds, Sprinting Time Horse, Spirit Searching, and stuff like that, and a bunch of others, and then obviously Time Spinning, which was really cool. It's already working way better than going through the distributor.
Oh yeah, and she even said she had already had a second package come in with promos, but she just hadn't opened it yet, which I was assuming was probably December, which we're now in December, so probably go get some of those soon. And no, that's my booster box story. I thought it was funny. But what Colin was talking about with Jeff is that the company announced, it was initially announced about 8 hours in advance on the Japanese Twitter, and then later on was revealed on, I guess, US pages and whatnot, that the company is going to pull out from the company that they're working with that was working on, what's it called?
The app.
The Willpower app, the Force Willpower.
The whole interface.
Where you scan your points
mechanism
in to get your prizes at the end of the year. And that
I was going to say, which if you guys remembered, I'd mentioned on the news, I think last week, that people kept, and this had been going on for several weeks, of people saying it's not on the App Store anymore, on the Apple App Store. And so I had mentioned that, and Oscar just assumed it was them not renewing their thing on the Apple App Store, and so I said, I hope it's nothing indicative of anything bad or anything like that.
Yeah, because having worked at Apple, when they started up the whole division that worked on the App Store, it was very like make sure you dot your I's and cross your T's and commas and periods, everything, because they were very strict with how they had their approval process, and it still is. So I figured, there was maybe a renewal that they didn't do, but they straight up stopped working with the company. So I just thought about this: the Apple users, iOS users, they don't have the app anymore. Meanwhile, they're saying to scan all the points you can so you can calculate them at the end of the year. So none of the Apple users can do that right now, unless they get like an Android device, download the app, and then do that.
If they got a new phone somewhere in that process and wanted to transfer the points they already had, they can't now. And so even by doing that method, there's not. If they already got rid of their old phone or something like that, then they're just sort of SOL.
How? I'm confused. You just confused me.
So I have a certain amount of points on my Willpower app.
Right.
If I get a new phone and get rid of this, I open the app and log in or whatever, and it pulls up the points.
Yeah. But Apple can't.
If you have Apple and you go pull it up and go to install the app, there's no app to install.
Yeah. Which is what came to attention for everybody. People on our Discord were the first ones I think I had seen anywhere really mentioning it. Again, link in the description below if you guys want to join us on Discord. And so the official announcements just that they're ending the support with it, that they will do another program hopefully soon where they can calculate points, not necessarily just based on like product purchase, but also like attendance to say locals and GPs. The original post actually just said GP attendance, but I think Jeff further in his little thing when he posted in the US group had said also locals in his post. So I'm not sure. I'm sure they'll clarify soon. Maybe you can even ask Jeff just to make that more clear. But
yeah. And if
cool.
so, that'd be really cool.
That would be amazing if going to a locals, they're like, cool, here's 15, 20, I don't know, some amount of points. Like, that's really going to help push people to start going to their locals.
Yeah, it sounds closer to like what the major card games are doing, do with Wizards and your
Pokemon.
DCI
Play
number
Pokemon
and stuff, and and Pokemon and their your Pokemon number or whatever they do.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that'd be such a cool idea and it's even better than those because it's not only is it points for attendance but points for buying product as well, and it's not just points for now you can go attend worlds or whatever.
Exactly.
Like Pokemon it's physical things. Yeah, for the non-competitive players who just
some really cool prizes.
Yeah. So non-competitive players are incentivized. Competitive players are incentivized. People who don't play the game much are incentivized to play the game more. Like, it sounds like it's going to be a net positive switch. It'll suck for people who buy old. If they introduce a new card that goes in the back of the booster pack, it'll suck for buying old product. You don't get any rewards for that anymore. But going forward, it would have been nice to introduce this at the beginning of this cluster since you're doing the refresh. It would have been a nice, easy transition, especially to introduce people. Mm-hmm. So I wonder if something happened or if they had to wait till the end of the year for their contract to run out because they said you can scan till December 31st, so maybe it's just a contract thing.
which they recommend scanning up to the date. Like scan now if you can. In fact, just
there will
scan
be
everything
rewards.
in.
Yes.
Yeah.
There will be some sort of minor reward.
Yeah.
It's cool how like, you know, Force of Will like took something that was already established and they just they saw it and they improved. They're trying to improve upon it and like make it even better than what their their competitors have and stuff. Which is something I always like. I think Force of Will has been doing a good job of lately. Like,
yeah, I think they've been on the right track so far, and I think this, assuming it's not anything like, yeah, no, we're gonna come out with a great system. It's called just giving you cards, and you don't scan anything, and it's like, you know, they not end up doing whatever they say they're doing. That would suck. Like, oh man, we're gonna have this really cool online place where you can play games. Just kidding. We're gonna have a cool movie. Just kidding. We're gonna have a cool new app that scans your stuff in. Just kidding.
That was old Force of Will, Colin. This is new Force of
Will. Man, Colin taking the shots now.
I just say it sounds super cool, but I do want to wait and make sure that it's in my hands. Is the one lesson I've learned from Force of Will.
I had Battle Simulator in my hands and installed on my computer, and
yeah, how many games? Yeah,
we connected once with Joey, and we're like, could never do it again.
I mean, to be fair, Zach and I probably played like a dozen to like 20 times, something like that.
Oh yeah,
and it was a good app. It was a good fun app. They
just I remember when they had that and they released the what do you call it? The computer to fight against you. And I was like, oh, this would be interesting. This would probably be good. I could practice against a computer. They're usually pretty smart. And it's like, okay, I did my stuff. Pass turn. It's like, draw, call a stone, pass turn. I'm like, what?
Yeah, no, the computer was trash on it. Like, everything about it, everything on, like, the game side and with, like, the stack and stuff, and pass and priority was really good. And it was just, like, the computer didn't do anything, and it was really hard to connect to people. Yeah. And, like, and they didn't... The part that pissed me off the most was like they didn't have any like they started with the
CFC
with the starter decks.
Did they have starter decks? Okay.
And then like they didn't do anything until like right as they were gonna be catching up. Like all the cards in there were gonna be New Frontiers legal, and then they just discontinued it. It's like,
because I remember it's like a cluster only.
Yeah. Like and everybody's like, "Don't worry. Once we get to the end of the cluster, and it like other stuff like Alice cluster rotates, we'll be good." And then they just ended on that fourth set. It's like, we never got the fourth set. And like, they're not doing it anymore. Yeah. There's also another program that's supposed to work hand in hand with it, and it was supposed to be like able to see like your willpower reward number, like total points scanned. And then you would unlock foil versions of the cards so you can use in game or special like gold versions. I remember because it made Joey want to start scanning codes in because we should just like put our codes together. And Joey's like, nah, I'm gonna keep my codes because I want some cool cards for this game.
You were going to be able to have all your like Battle Simulator cards like foiled out and stuff by scanning in like certain cards or something like that.
You'd scan the QR codes. It would register apparently from the app. Force of Will to that app, and then it would be a currency where you go buy the cards in their little market, and then that would unlock them then into the Battle Simulator. And just I remember we never heard about the app again, and I was like, where is it? And I went and looked it up, and like the app just pulled out. We're not doing Force of Will anymore.
Yeah, the Battle Simulator. I hope they like keep that code and stuff and keep it like in their back pocket because they had everything right up to like when they stopped doing it. But like everything worked.
Not everything.
No, like everything besides besides matchmaking, which I assume you can like, will take a little bit more effort, but you could definitely put that in and make a decent online game. But
but if they do that, Joey, then who's going to want to travel to another country and meet new people? Because that was what was holding me back. Definitely wasn't money. It was the fact that there might have been an online Force of Will. And then I'd be like, well, why would I travel to Japan and see some of the coolest sites in the world when I could just get on my computer and play Point the Will?
Man, Colin is on Rampage. This is
that was like the single like stupidest statement ever. Where it's like, oh, we don't want to do it because then people won't want to leave their house. It's like, no, trust me. The thing making me not want to leave my house is definitely not Force of Will. other factors like the sun.
I like how this was like the app was ending and we are turning into a positive. Like, I like where they're gonna go with this, and we're bringing up every negative we had. Because I'm about to bring up another one. We never got the final article from EG that we were supposed to get like almost a year ago now.
Well, those articles ended up being postponed by like months, and then slowly coming out. And then I don't think they even fully completed the judge articles, because there's supposed to be a couple articles for the judge program. And then they're like, oh, wait, this judge test is going to suck. We better not do more articles on that. And I forget, there's supposed to be some other articles about, there's something specific
I can only remember the one that was supposed to be from Yuji, his last point. Oh, it was okay. There's one from him. It wasn't there supposed to be a follow up article from the who tests the game? What do they call it?
Oh
R&D
yeah,
team. There's another article.
The R&D team was going to do a whole thing, and I assume it was going to be like no, and it was probably during the heat of Sherry, and they're like, actually, you guys should probably stay back for a minute.
This is like everybody puts everybody else on blast podcast. I love it.
You can call me Blastoise.
And he killed it. Alright, moving on.
Yeah. Well, okay. Speaking of which, I wasn't really...
Joey's like, wait, I gotta blast someone real quick.
This is actually more of a positive note. I was watching the ARG's VODs to kind of get a feel of how Chimimi plays and stuff for the Joe's Corner. And this is actually after I'd already filmed, so I was just looking at it for to see if I got things right. And time spending, which wasn't as bad as I thought it sounded like when you guys were all talking about it and stuff. I don't know, maybe I was just I saw like 3 or 4 games of I think Ryan Miles playing it, and I was definitely like, this isn't as impressive as I originally looked at it. So just
there's your problem. You're watching the wrong Miles brother.
Wasn't Ryan the only one? I thought.
Yeah, it's a joke.
Okay.
It's a brother joke thing. Anyways,
it's a Team ARG thing. You wouldn't understand.
Yeah,
No, it was literally a meme that was created on the US group. You little. Oh my god. Anyways,
moving on. I have several points I want to go over.
First off, real quick, I disagree with you, Joey. It's impressive as fuck. But go ahead.
Anyways, so I was gonna say Rudy had a video come out recently.
Oh yes,
he's kind of doing a recap of how his year's been, I guess, for sales and things he would be going into for the next year. And I watched it because I usually watch his videos, but he did bring up Force of Will at one point, and that was because if you remember, he did that bundle deal not that long ago with all the Alice cluster cards and the dual decks. Which, by the way, I think in one of his videos I was watching recently, you can still see stacks of those dual decks in the background. But he says that he did mention another one that was supposed to come out during Christmas, but he did mention now that it would be out in about 2 months from now, and that it would include the Valhalla starters as well as MPR and BFA packs. And I don't know. I told Colin this earlier how he was mentioning that his sales on Pokemon really weren't there. He says that the booms kind of ended. He says it's not dead. It's just not as hyped as it was before, and that as a result he wasn't going to be carrying Pokemon anymore to sell on Patreon, especially because nobody was buying it. And then he was also going to cut out on, I think, Card Fight Vanguard, but increase the sales of Force of Will, which that was cool because he sold all his product he had on New Dawn Rises. So hopefully that happens again.
That's pretty cool.
So that's a little tidbit.
Yeah. What did you say the bundle was?
So he only mentioned 2 things, and that was the Valhalla starters, the original Valhalla starters.
In English or Japanese?
English, which just isn't it's not uncommon, but
well, they're enough that they're to get them all in one place and potentially at a bargain price would totally be cool.
Yeah, true. Yeah, but I remember when we got in the game, places like Walmart and Toys R Us were just trying to sell them off their shelves. I remember everybody just going around picking them up. I would like to get some because it'd be great to play those on the channel. That'd be a good video.
Yeah,
and then I forget I was gonna say something.
You said MPR and
MPR and BFA packs.
I'm excited.
I'd be curious to see what comes in, how much. I love BFA. I'm really sad it turned out to be not as good, mainly because of the rulers. But I really liked a lot of the stuff that was in BFA.
I only liked Blood Covered War Axe because it's cool.
you're dumb. Because Joey was like, you know what I like? Cheese. I don't care what type of cheese, as long as it's cheese.
Here's the werewolf with blood-covered war axe.
And he was awesome.
And an Ame no Habakiri.
Yeah.
You're dead.
Asshole. But there's that, and all the cool machines were inside of that, and I thought the rulers was cool in concept, like, because back, just like flipping your ruler over and your opponent's like, oh shit, I don't know what ruler that is until it flips over, because they're all the same and they all have all 5 colors and stuff. And
he's playing red and really fast cards. I don't know. It could be. Oh shit! Oh my gosh!
It was still in the format with rulers more and all that, so you could easily do multicolor.
Well, no. Because then it'd be like, I'm gonna call Stone. Like, oh, he is Machina Stone. Right. I wonder what he's running.
He's got True Flights before it, or whatever that. He's playing Arlo. Oh my god!
It's relevant for like turn 1 and 2. First off. Anyways,
you only flip until turn 4.
No, turn 1 and 2 based on what they like play or discard or draw and stuff like that. Anyways, you guys missed the point, and it's also good in Epic Stories and all that. It's just they dropped the ball on the power levels of the rulers for not having a ruler side.
I mean, Arlo OTK was pretty cool, Doug. I like that one.
Yeah, it's alright.
I've been playing that against Michael.
Like
Michael was so mad. I think it's one of the times Michael stopped playing the game.
Probably.
Yeah. Anyways, that's what Rudy's up to.
And NPR was good too.
He'll post in a couple months. I think the other stuff's going to go inside the box. It's just kind of a couple of things he wanted to mention.
I'd be curious on the pricing on that. I might be interested in that.
Well, the last box is about $300, so I think he's aiming for the same. So
if he is, he's got to put a shiz ton of booster packs in that from PFA and NPR to get.
Well, yeah, I mean, he'll probably match the way he built the other one, which everybody loved the other one. So.
Yeah, but I feel like there's not as big a variety.
I don't know, we'll see. Let's see what else he puts in. Because the last.
What if he's like, oh, here it is, guys. I got it. Here it is. Vingolf 2.
But wait. 20 Vingolf 2.
I might. For 20 Vingolf, just if you got it, I got it just to have 40 Vingolf 2 boxes. And then we could like set it on fire or something. That would be great.
First of all, you guys could like take out all the dual stones and then set it on fire.
Well, I'd take out the foil pack too. Just to see what came in it.
Oh, yeah. I try to get a play set of pregnant ladies. I got 1 or 2, I think, so I need a couple more.
Yeah. Anyway, that's what he's up to. Another thing I have written here was Twitter, the Japanese Forcible Twitter account, is doing a follow and retweet campaign, which I thought was weird because I can't read, obviously, Japanese, and I saw that they posted a video trailer, and I was like, oh, it's just a new trailer for the new set, and I hit play, and it was just like advertising the starter deck, and I was like, I was like 3 months late. But they're doing a campaign where they're re-releasing all the trailers for each of the starter decks. I don't know if it's each of them, but they've done 3 or 4 so far. One of each of the colors. And it's kind of advertising that spoilers will start in a week. Which I thought was weird that Japan was 3 days in the advertising that spoilers would start in a week. Yet the US and English pages had nothing.
Yeah.
Somebody had to conveniently ask the same time I figured it out. I was like, yeah, I just figured it out. It's this. And finally Jeff commented to confirm they do start this Sunday, the 9th, for the US. And we're excited because we'll be doing spoiler coverage.
Yes, we will.
Yeah, so make sure to keep an eye out for that. We usually have the video up within an hour or so from spoilers being revealed. Mm-hmm. But, yeah, I'm curious if they just, like, fired whoever was in charge of their, like advertising and PR, what's the name, like, community relations and all that. Because, like, we usually, social media. Like, we get, like, artwork teasing the spoilers, especially the weeks leading up to it. And at least an announcement of the date of when it's, like, I didn't know it was this Sunday until Jeff mentioned it in a comment thread of someone asking when they were going to start. And, like, not only that, but I feel like this happened, like, several times of, like, us not finding out about stuff outside of through the U.S. group or finding out super late. Like Oscar had mentioned, we had found out about the Willpower app going away, like, 8 hours after Japan's Twitter put it, which is, like, that should all be coordinated. It should be everything goes public at the same time. That's like 101 of so I don't know what's going on there, because I feel like they used to be on top of it before, so maybe they just fired someone who was in charge of it and now they're just like, hey Jeff, you do this because we're gonna make you do everything now or something like that.
But he's busy, obviously.
Well, yeah. So that would explain why it takes a while to come out. So I feel like maybe they're making Jeff or someone like do it. But so hopefully it doesn't affect spoilers coming out if they're like, because usually we get like little teases and stuff like that. But oh well.
Well, those little teases are usually from the Italian page.
Well, I'm not talking about that. That's different. But
whenever they try to meme their little teasers,
sometimes they hit pretty good.
Yeah, I thought it was funny because for NDR spoilers, there's a whole controversy of it being leaked early, and then they're like, "All right," Force was like, "Here's the whole set. Everybody can look at it now." And it was about a week to a week and a half before spoilers were supposed to wrap up and end. Which sucks for us because we get our most growth, but it also sucked because I think I was looking at the Italian page and someone goes, "Some like you pre-made all the memes, didn't you?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm still sharing these." So I just kept posting every day the meme that would have came out that day.
Oh my gosh, you already had them all.
Yeah,
that's
so that was pretty.
That's
awesome.
amazing.
But yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited for spoilers. I'm really, and especially now going into this spoiler season, knowing what the runes do, knowing the power levels of the different rulers, what to look out for. I feel like it's going to be even more exciting this time around to actually look at the spoilers now that we know what we're looking at.
And we can also talk about like whether or not they're accurately balancing new ruler, or the new rulers, and like what needs to be pumped up a little bit, and if
doing what they promised.
Yeah, exactly. It'll be cool.
Yeah, that's true. We get to in real time be like call them out if they're
we can bitch on Force of Will more.
If they release like anything strong for Chimimi, we can be like. And if they don't release anything strong for like. Chimimi's probably is the top NDR deck.
So I was going to ask you that because
really the problem.
I talked to Joey about this the other day.
It's not a problem, but it doesn't need power cards. Is the only point.
Yeah. I'm just saying like Chimimi isn't the problem. The deck being as good as it is a problem.
We have time to talk about this because my last little subject I want to talk about is like probably a quick 7-minute thing. But Colin, since they said that whatever the stronger decks were won't get as much support in the next set, whatever the weaker ones were would get way more support. In your opinion, what's the 3 top strongest new starter decks that came out that won't get support, in your opinion?
Well, not that won't, but will get minimal support. I think is the correct, or like support for other decks that would counter them or help counter them to stifle them. But definitely Chimimi is I think the top NDR deck currently. Hold on, I gotta cycle through. It's 10 rulers to think of. So we got Chimimi, Hanzo for green, Lich, Lucifer for black. Okay, machines. So Hanzo, I think, is still potential. I don't know if he's strong or not yet. I think he still needs some stuff, so it's okay for him to get some strong stuff. Is Lich or is it Lucifer? One of those is decent.
I think Lucifer Lucifer's the one that's being played over the other one.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. So Lucifer is probably one of the strong ones. Nothing in blue. Isis is probably going to be pretty good. Is probably pretty good. And then what's yellow?
Brunhild.
Brunhild. Okay, Brunhild actually could be good. So Brunhild, I would say Brunhild, Isis, and Chimimi come off the top of my head. I could be wrong on that, on what's actually strong, just because I think we'll definitely for sure find out at the ARG/GP coming up here next week. But those pop out in my head at least.
Okay, and bottom 3 is obviously Lich.
Arthur.
Yeah.
I played
what's her name? The other blue one.
Loki.
Yeah.
You're just feeding him answers right now, Oscar.
You're enabling him to not think for himself. Yeah, no, Oscar, we'll have it come up. I totally forgot. I gotta send Joey a gameplay video for him to commentate that Oscar and I did. But
told you about it.
I'll do that later. But yeah, I played machine deck that I had made real quick, and it had Arthur as the ruler, and I flipped, and I was just like, oh god, he's terrible. Like, there's nothing good going. There's no reason outside of if you really want to run his Master Rune or something like that to run him, which I like his Master Rune, so that I'm gonna still run him because I love his Master Rune. But god, he's absolutely terrible. it'd be okay because, as people pointed out, there's no synergy at all between him and his deck. Lancelot and all the other cards don't interact with J Rulers and stuff like that, and he doesn't interact with Resonators, so there's nothing there. And then it's like, okay, well, at least he's strong on his own. It's like, no, he's absolutely terrible on his own. He has, like, so hard to get good counters on him, and you'd have to get so many counters on him just to give him a decent attack and stuff like that. It's just not good. So I was pretty disappointed in that.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
So I guess, yeah, we'll see definitely what comes up. It's ARG running a WGBQ is what it is, right? And that's going to be in Orlando on December 15th weekend. So hopefully we get a stream of that. I'm not sure what's going on.
Yes, there will be a stream of that.
Okay.
As I'm pretty sure Jeremy confirmed that. If I'm wrong, Jeremy, let me know below.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty.
And
sure
if we're wrong, we'll correct below. So just look for. If you don't see a comment correcting that, then it's probably straight on. But.
Oh yeah. Is your last topic related to GPs?
No.
Okay, so I wanted to. You mentioned this, so I wanted to bring it up because you mentioned it. You said it, and I was like, "Oh yeah!" So we had gotten all hyped because they're like, "Hey guys, there's not going to be an off season. It's going to be great." And Oscar had said, "What did you say back then when they said that?"
I remember.
You had said like, "Oh, they're probably just going to have like one GP, and they're going to call that not having an off season."
Oh yeah.
And then that's what ended up happening. They literally had one extra event, and then it sounded like a last minute event that they were like, "Oh shit, right? We told there wasn't going to be an off season. Games a Geek, you're a GP now. Go." Because we found that out like 3 weeks before the event, so it sounded like very last minute, and then that was it. And that's them saying, "Oh, there technically wasn't an off season," and so. You had brought that up, and I was like, yeah, that is kind of dumb. And we still haven't found the GP dates for this season. Yeah. And so I have a plane ticket that I can use at some point. But the longer they wait, the less likely I'm able to use it. It expires at some point, and it's for a maximum value. So if I'm too close to the date, plane ticket's too expensive and I can't go. So I'm in this sort of bubble. And if they don't announce it inside of that bubble, then we'll probably just end up going to like 1, maybe 2 GPs this season at max.
Why aren't you going to the December 15th one?
Because once again, they announced it like, what was it, 3 or 4 weeks before it was happening. Mm-hmm. And so I just didn't have, the plane ticket was outside of the cost of the free plane ticket I have. So I can't go to it.
Yeah, I see, because your plane ticket is like a voucher for like 170 or whatever, and this one, all the plane tickets to get there are like over 200 or whatever.
Yeah,
I see.
Yeah. There are a lot more than that because of how close the date was. Yeah. If they had announced it, 2 or 3 months ahead of time, probably would have been perfectly fine, and I'd be going there next week. But so hopefully, because this is sort of how last GP season got bubbled around, was like all these last minute announcements, last minute changes, last minute turnarounds, a random sealed event, and stuff like that. Just like really tank.
Never gonna get over it.
I'm not. I'm so mad about that. Really like tanked the season down, I think, and contributed to low attendance. It wasn't low attendance necessarily because less people are playing the game. I think it was just like. I feel, not to anyone, I'm not saying like it wasn't Rob's fault or anything like that, as from everything we know, but I'm not sure whose fault it was, but it was just bumbled around quite a bit as far as communicating to the players when stuff was happening, what was happening there, switching stuff around at last minute and stuff like that was just, and so I'm afraid we're going to be, so far we're following that exact same trend. So I'm hoping.
The ARG already happened at the same place, the same time of year, every year. Again, I'd just be like, oh, here WGBQ now as well.
Yeah, and well, it's like I would have liked to go to the ARG, but the inclusion of it being a GP with GP pricing is like, okay, I need to for sure go to that. And that would have been nice to know. It's like the Games and Geek thing. It's like, oh, that sounds like a cool thing. I'd love to go to that. Oh, well. And then it's like, oh, it's a GP. And it's like, oh, well, now I would like have to go to that if I'd known about it ahead of time. And like, the elevation to the GP status with the paid invite and the unpaid invite and the pricing and all that stuff makes a big difference. The pricing alone, if you get at least in top 32 and stuff, almost makes it like worth it. If you're top 8, 100% like gets the trip paid for and stuff like that. So it's a big difference, I think.
They're gonna announce the GPs this next season and be like, "Yeah, you guys really seem to like that one sealed event. You know what? We'll run in Texas again."
I wouldn't go to it. I'd protest vote that one.
But if it was
actually, I am enjoying.
You could.
I enjoy sealed a lot more with runes.
You could at least go to it and like take the L1 test or something.
Yeah, so I'd probably go to commentate. Maybe commentate would be fun.
Oscar, stop kicking at me.
Anyways, my last topic was just really like a fun thing that I wanted to go over. This is a post that Jeff made back in October. And I'm going to read what he said in the very beginning so everybody's crystal clear and nobody takes this the wrong way. He says, I am not, in capital letters, not. I'm not promising anything. But what rulers would you like to see ascended or descended? Add only real options, please. So I kind of want to go over it and just to go over what the top ended up being or what y'all's picks would have been if y'all had voted. I know Colin voted. So, Colin, yours is obvious. I really don't even need to ask you. You picked Sylvia. You really want Sylvia to be an ascended ruler.
She's so good still, and she's so fun, and she's literally like top 5 tier waifu and stuff. So it's like a no-brainer, and to have new art of a Sylvia ruler and stuff would be like, oh, yeah.
Joey?
And I was trying to, and the ascendant, all they have to do to make it ascendant and make the power level good is just have her passive on her ruler side of making stuff produce green on her J ruler side, and give her energize, and you're done.
That would not.
You're done. Nope, it's enough. I'll kill you with her.
It would not. Well, Prisha was already ascended, but I think maybe if they descended, if they descended like Prisha, Reflector Frame, or Sherry to like get them to like a proper like balance level, like especially descending Sherry could bring something else into the meta that's like do something else good in there, and like however they end up doing it, whether it's she can't quick cast her stories or something, or just make her
all they have to make her is not have a J ruler side.
What if
just keep all her same abilities but only ruler side?
Possibly, or okay. What if they like made her into like a rune based ruler instead of like the story deck, yeah.
Ooh.
And then, that takes some erratas though, and they don't like doing that for her.
Yeah. Like what erratas though? Like what if they just like
you'd have to add
literally
divinity to each of the cards.
Well, no. Yeah, I guess you'd have to like reascend. Well, okay, so
Joey's like thinking instant like denial, and then before he actually thinks about it, the whole shoot first, like, say no first, think about it later.
Like they could either have her double dip into the runes Hanzo and Chimimi already have, or but it would probably be better.
Nah, I'd say keep story because then it makes cards relevant that are dead cards right now and stuff like that. Just axe her J ruler side because then people can use the Sherrys they currently have and just not flip her and stuff like that. Because I mean she's still super strong, but she's not flip over, get free shit, have a giant flyer and etc. strong.
so that's funny because like in the bottom third of the voting with 8 votes was Sherry with reworked Grimoire or no J ruler side. So not many people wanted that in general.
Yeah, or like
no, someone thought of it. That's probably an added answer that people didn't realize was there because they're thinking of Ascension, not Descension.
I feel like Prisha with like Prisha but a Descended ruler would be cool.
Yeah, that which was on there made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5th place with 84 votes.
Honestly, personally, I would rather see like Reflector Frame.
So here's the thing about that.
But
is they didn't say to descend Reflector Frame, they said to like ascend Reflector Frame. Which I guess makes sense because I don't think it'd probably be as good in this like nowadays compared to other options out there.
It depends if they still gave him his
66 votes for that. Oh, that's true. All right, so my pick, obviously Dark Alice. And what it won? Wow, first place.
The people are just voting for waifu material. They're not even voting on the card. Get out of here.
It finished with 306 votes.
Who was second and third?
Second was Shion with 237.
Oh,
Third
man.
was Sylvia with 218.
That's fair.
Machina with 104.
Oh, Machina's a good one. Did I vote for that too?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, I did. I totally forgot. Probably last time too. I was like, "Oh, Machina, that's a good idea." Like I didn't even think of that.
I actually voted Dark Alice, Shion, and Machina were in Pandora.
Oh, you get out here with your Shion.
I gave Pandora a pity vote because nobody was voting for her.
People were like, "No, just leave it alone. Stop."
84 votes for Descendant Prisha. That's how many people were with Joey. Yeah. And after that, just kind of breaks down Lumia, Gil Lapis, Reflective Rain, Grim, Zero, the Pandora I just mentioned, and it just kind of goes on from that point.
I'm super into the Ascendant Machina now. Oh man, that's so cool.
What would you change?
So cool.
What would you do to make him different?
I would make him be able to search for, make his search go X+1 is what I would first do, and make it so you can only do that once per turn, which he already has to do. And you can't do it on your opponent's turn, maybe. And I think that would be a perfect trade-off, because then you could free search for a 1 cost, which is really strong machines, or you can pay Will and really snowball that out, and obviously give him energy. I think it'd be flavorful. Just give him either energize for blue or energize for 2 colorless, maybe, because machines aren't that strong. You can go pretty crazy without worrying. No, I think you go pretty crazy without worrying about it.
You could energize for 2 colors is too good. That's weird.
No, I disagree. It's like Pokemon. You would think that, but it's actually not that strong. And well, okay, actually for search ability, I guess that's kind of strong. Right. But still,
you could search for a 3 cost, or you could just play a 3 cost on turn 1. Like, that's not really fair.
Yeah, I guess. Fine, but yeah, I guess. Yeah, so he's energized for blue or colorless, and then his flip is probably still okay. Probably just adjust some of the things of his passive abilities that nobody used, like banish to give him imperishable, essentially, or indestructible until end of turn. You could probably buff that up a little bit, maybe, or make the conditions different.
Was it BFA Machina that lets you play the machine resonators from your deck?
Yeah, that's the one that you go through your deck. The current Machina that they want to send is the one where it plays from your hand.
I think Oscar's frozen.
Yeah, Oscar's super frozen.
Okay. Yeah.
I want to get through those thoughts first. But yeah, I think we're gonna wrap it up there anyway. So, Oscar's not here. So, his internet died. So, thanks guys for tuning in. Hopefully his computer didn't die and then he doesn't have a video, and then this podcast is dead.
That's what I'm hoping. Is it doesn't happen.
But thanks guys for listening, and join us for the mini podcast over on patreon.com/TCG Scrubs, and we'll see you guys next week.
Yeah.